hear stories and opinions from people who have experienced the supernatural. Then tune into Supernatural Limits, the podcast that explores the unknown and the unexplained. Every week, we explore encounters with the paranormal, the bizarre, and the unbelievable. Whether a skeptic or a believer, join us on this thrilling journey into the other side of reality.
Welcome, everyone, to Supernatural Limits. Something different from the WEFOBZ enterprise that we're bringing to all of you. A little bit of entertainment, a little bit of curiosity, a little bit of education, a little bit of the supernatural. You are here with your hosts, Rastamon.
Booyaka.
And guysosmooth. Well, Rastamon, how you doing?
Doing
How's
great.
the movement?
Doing great.
Man, bro, thank you for coming on board to help me launch the first episode of Supernatural Limits.
Yeah, I grew up in the supernatural, man.
Ooh.
So this is how it is in the islands.
Oh, man, I like that. I like that. Well, let me clear some things up for our listeners and viewers before we get started. Let me do a little housekeeping here. Everything expressed here on this podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes only. The views expressed belong to the speakers themselves. Little something there. The mood for this is a bit different from what we're usually used to. Rastamon, so I have a question. It's actually a question. It's a topic of the day, topic of the night, topic of the evening, afternoon. You ready for it?
Hit me with it.
All right. Here on Supernatural Limits, we want to ask, what is the supernatural? What is this thing called supernatural? What is it? I want to get your thoughts on it. I'll leave some thoughts on it, and then let's just open up a whole bag of worms from that end.
For me, supernatural, growing up in the islands is it's about spirits and like folklore tales that the old people would talk about different spirits and deities and demons and stuff that mingle among human beings, and part of that supernatural stuff is I'll bring up the religion, Orisha, I think it is, where they do black magic. They call that supernatural stuff in the islands. From where I'm from, Trinidad, we call it Obeah. And,
what do you call it? What do you call it from Trinidad? What is it called?
Yeah, it's called Obeah.
Obeah.
Obeah, yeah.
Wow.
Which means if they say somebody walk Obeah on you, it means somebody like send a spirit to do something bad on you.
Wow. Wow.
Make a little doll or something on you and stick some pins or do whatever spiritual chant they did on it and did their stuff with it, whatever it is they do, and in the islands
juju,
there's a lot of that in different ways, and that's what we call supernatural too.
So you're very familiar, coming from Trinidad and all, you guys are very familiar with this term, right? Supernatural.
Oh yeah. I know in my lifetime I've bumped into a couple spirits.
Wow. Wait, you've had experience also with some of this shit?
Oh yeah, I have with like real spirits. But
bro, we gonna get into some of that, man. We gonna get into some of that.
It's thinking back gave me the chills of how scary it was.
Oh, are you okay with sharing it right here with us?
I'll share. I'll share a couple of
Sweet.
different ones that I remember vividly.
Wow, vividly. That's well, man. Let me add to that. Let me just help you out here and help our audience out. If this is your first time tuning in, this is Supernatural Limits, episode 1. You're here with Rastamon and guysosmooth. And what Supernatural Limits is, it's kind of like an oxymoron. It's like, everybody knows there's no limits to the supernatural. And the topic for us today is, what is supernatural? And you heard Rastamon right there, coming from Trinidad. Rastamon, once again, what's it called in Trinidad? What do you call it? That word you were telling me?
Obeah.
That's what they call it out from where he comes from.
It's like voodoo, basically. Same thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And if any of you are ever familiar with voodoo, if you know, you know. But Supernatural Limits is gonna make you know some more. Well, let me give some insight into supernatural. I Googled it, bro. So always got to start off with some definitions for some of the people who kind of, needs to simplify things. So if you Google it in the Oxford Language Dictionary, this is what it says. It's an adjective. It could be an adjective of a manifestation or event attributed to some force beyond scientific understanding or the laws of nature. Or it could be a noun. Manifestations or events considered to be of supernatural origin, such as ghosts, and etc. Basically, they just said there's no scientific explanation for it. And if it happens, that's how it falls into the supernatural.
Yeah.
Bro, coming from the Pacific Islands, one of the Pacific Islands, American Samoa, I can tell you too, like you, I've had my share of experiences with the supernatural. It's even gotten to the point where sometimes I call it the stupid natural. Because I don't know, man. How do you think? Usually when it happens, is like a negative effect on a person or a positive effect? What do you think? When you come up against the supernatural, what do you?
I think when you encounter it, most of the time those encounters aren't in a positive way. So it definitely would have a negative effect on you. Because a lot of times, let's just say there may be a positive spirit there. You've seen a spirit for the first time or encountering the feeling that a spirit is there is not a good feeling. Because you don't know if it's good or bad.
Yeah.
Whether it's good or bad, So it's for me, I can say none of the times that I remember was positive. I was scared, so that's it,
Well, let
And
me
it's
ask you. So
go
you're
ahead.
saying your experiences with it, has it been a negative experience or a positive one?
Negative.
Negative. Oh, can we
positive.
Oh man, can we tap into one of those? Can you share some juicy details about one of them? Like something that'll scratch this itch of curiosity we got going right here.
Yeah, all right. I remember I was in Trinidad one year. I went and I was staying with my aunt.
Yeah.
And I had the second bedroom next to hers. And I was laying in bed one night and I heard these footsteps on the roof. Like it sounded like footsteps on the roof at night.
Wow.
It's like somebody wearing boots, just walking on the roof at night. So I heard them walk to the back of the house. So I walked to the back of the house and I'm inside. I came out my bedroom and walked to the back of the house. Then they walked back to my bedroom. And then they jumped off the roof and landed outside my window.
Wait, you saying they jumped off the boots, the sound of the boots, you hear it jump off of the roof and land in the back of your window?
lying right next to my window, my bedroom window. And I'm by this time I'm laying on the bed because I was listening to the footsteps.
Mm-hmm.
And it stopped. And I was like, I looked out the window, but I couldn't see anything. But I felt someone was staring at me through the window because I had the lights on and the curtains were like see-through curtains. So I know whatever was out there could see me, but you heard the boots hit the ground, like when they jumped off the road, you know? And I called to my aunt. I was like, hey, did you hear that? She's like, I heard the stuff on the ground, but I didn't hear the walking on the roof. I was like, yeah, you know, and I looked through the window. I opened the window, as scared as I was, but there was nothing there. But you felt like there was a presence there, you know?
Wow. And when you say you felt, it's kind of like how people feel when they have people standing next to them and stuff, or people watching you and stuff, right?
Worse than that, where every hair on your body sticks up, your head, your feet, everything, you know? It was like that. And
And
I was just,
then
and then it that happened a couple times while I stayed with her.
at your aunt's place, was your aunt's place known to be haunted and stuff?
No, no, it was not, man. And the thing is, it's like, you know, you know, like heard something one night too, and I'm like, yeah, I heard it. And it was kind of the same thing on the roof. And it went to the back of the house this time and jumped down. And the back of the house, you could see outside, it had a metal gate by the washroom, and you could totally see outside, but it didn't enter the house, it just stayed outside
Oh,
because the house was protected, you know.
I was waiting for that. That's what I was gonna ask you because it felt like the house was protected, especially if you all understand the supernatural as you do in Trinidad. And of course, they're gonna probably have wars, right? Keep
Yeah,
them out.
yeah. So yeah, that was one of the times, a couple of different times that yeah, the hair on the back of my neck was like, didn't want to go down.
Oh man, you just brought up a couple of things. I think a lot of people who had experience with that kind of stuff go through the same thing too. I just
Yeah,
believe us humans kind of tend to forget we have that sense to know when something's not right with our real world, and a lot of people go numb to it in today's lifetimes, I guess. Wow,
and
bro.
yeah, like the last house I lived in, I think there was a spirit there because I think the guy died there in the house. But they
What?
didn't tell us. Yeah, they didn't tell us. They weren't at liberty to disclose it. And I never really looked it up, you know. But I was laying in bed one night and I opened my eyes and this face was right above my face. And I like jumped back. I was like, whoa,
Wait, wait,
like
wait, wait. His face was right above your face when you woke up. He was.
it was like right there, just looking down on me. And I jumped out of my sleep. I was like, whoa. And
Was
I saw a face of somebody.
standing above you, or like he was stuck to the ceiling.
Yeah, no, no, right above me, like right face to face, like right next to me, like
Holy sh-
you know, like a few inches above my face.
and just staring down at you.
Yeah,
Man, I'm gonna get into it because what his eyes were what black eyes with like stuff that we
no,
see in scary movies and shit.
it was a face. I can't remember how exactly it was, but there was a face that enough that it startled me quite a bit.
Oh yeah,
Like
and it's probably dark
just
too, right?
yeah, you know. And the thing is, in that house, multiple times I saw stuff out of the corner of my eyes. I went and looked, and there was nobody there.
And this is the house you were in before you moved to your current location, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Damn, bro. We got the right people coming in with bringing you on board was definitely a right choice. And thank you.
Oh,
These wow, you've been I didn't even know you had that much experience with the supernatural side.
That's just a tiny little thing, man. It's like I don't know how it is. I think it's for me, I think it's a belief that there are spirits roaming because it was told to you that there are spirits roaming. Not every spirit is good or whatever and stuff. So you and our bodies as human beings, we wear a meat suit, but we're energy. We're energy. Our brain waves, everything. And we're just energy.
Yes.
So what happens to that energy when we lose this form? You know,
Yep.
what happens to it? And so maybe it goes somewhere, and some don't get the opportunity to go somewhere, so they just roam, create chaos. So they get put to rest.
Bro, I think a lot of people, with the supernatural, and one of the reasons why we wanted to get into it, because there's so much to talk about from our end, and we're really curious about the unknown, right?
Yeah, it
There's
is.
questions we want answered, and a lot of that lies sometimes, well, a lot of times science can't answer those questions, or it's probably that science hasn't caught up to it. Human history, if anybody ever studies human history, is filled with supernatural events and supernatural stories and supernatural records, right?
Yeah, a lot of it was basically like sorcery and spirit possession and all that stuff from back in the day. From if you talk about, like, we're talking about China early on, from ancient China, they had sorcerers back then.
I think they still do have the sorcerers.
Even in Egypt, back in the days of Moses and Ramsey and all those guys, they had sorcerers. They had people who claimed to be sorcerers, but some of the things, some of the readings say they were demon possessions. Some of them, spirit possessions. So who knows? You know,
Well, my brother, man, I think we've got enough for what our audience can look forward to with future showings of the supernatural limits. I mean, you got a juicy, nice first-hand experience story right there from Rastamon, WEFOBZ Nation. These are the type of things we want to start getting into. We want to start talking about. And then the question becomes, why do these things happen, right? Like Rastamon, why was, you said the guy that died in your house and stuff, like, why was he there? Why was he staring at you? These are questions we want to ask in Supernatural Limits. Why do the hairs on your body, stand up? It's a matter of questioning what's going on, bringing a little bit of light to it if we can. If not, we'll just keep diving down the rabbit hole.
have you ever heard your name called and nobody called your name and you answered?
Man, no, but I've heard that that's like something happens when that. You've had that happen to you?
Multiple times, man. And to say it's a spirit calling your name and you shouldn't answer.
Yes, I've heard something like that. Wow. Okay, so you guys have something like that too. Like we have something like that in the Samoan culture.
Yeah.
If your name is called, don't answer it.
You call, is like, did you call me? You answer, like, did you call me? No. Did you call me? No. And nobody here said your name, like, but you heard your name loud and clear.
I think they even have something like that in the Bible, saying don't respond back to the devil or something like that. I might be wrong, but
don't answer it. And it sounds like somebody it would be like your mom or your sister.
Yes, it's somebody familiar in your life, right?
Yes, that's around at the time, or not.
Well, let me ask you this, Rastamon. What else would you want to be talking about on this on our newest podcast right now? We're releasing Supernatural Limits. What things you look forward to talking to our audience about?
That don't fear the unseen.
What was that?
Don't fear the unseen.
The
The unseen.
No.
Spirits and stuff are there, but they really cannot harm you.
Man.
It's really hard for them to harm you. And it's more we harm ourselves by the beliefs and the fear of them. And that's what I think.
All right. All right.
You know, you know, it's like supernatural stuff. Like when you're laying down in bed and all of a sudden you find yourself can't move. Have you ever had that happen to you?
They call it sleep paralysis, right?
Yes. In the islands, it says a spirit that's holding you down.
Yeah, some people are saying stuff about that, and it's a phenomenon that happens all over the world.
It's
I'm
always,
gonna knock on wood. I've never had it happen to me. Have you
oh,
had
you
it
never
happen
had
to
it?
you?
Oh, yeah, multiple times.
Oh, wow, you just brought up something. Okay, I'm gonna say something. So I've never had it happen to me, but I've had it where in my dream I dreamt something was trying to hold me down, but I was always able to dream up some stupid shit to get me free. Like I would dream my hands turned into machine guns and I was able to machine gun the thing off of me, or like swords and I was able to fight it off of me. I've had that, but I've never been paralyzed like how people say they were stiff in the bed. You're saying you've had it happen to you?
Yeah. And I've pretty much, it's like growing up, I I would say what it is you want. I would
Oh.
wake up and say what it is you want.
And you're freaking paralyzed. You can't move. You're talking like you're addressing this thing and you can't move.
Yeah, because I can't move. I cannot move my arms or legs or nothing. I can't move. All I can do is breathe and speak, and I could open my eyes, you know, and I'll be like,
Damn.
"What do you want?" And usually you don't get an answer, but in a few seconds you'll be able to move again. They'll let you go. Because one thing I learned is not to show fear in the eyes of something like that when they get you, you know.
So my bro, though, I want to thank you once again. I want to thank you for coming on and helping me out with opening this podcast. Man, Rastaman, I look forward to a lot more in the future with you and maybe our other host that would want to come on.
Yeah.
But I'll put this out to the WEFOBZ Nation. If any of you are interested in this type of podcast, hit us up, comment, like, share. It's something new. Supernatural Limits is something new for us, something we wanted to go a little more the entertaining route, the more curiosity style. We want to talk about that stuff. Spirits, ghosts. We want to talk about things in the Bible. We want to talk about fallen angels. We want to talk about topics that some may find taboo, but we want to go there. Scratch the itch of curiosity. And if it offends anybody, it's not our intention to offend you, right, Rastamon?
No, it is not.
It's
We're talking about our experiences, our opinions, and you know,
entertainment and education for us. But if you like it, come along for the ride. Man, Rastaman, you want to do any closing notes for our Supernatural Limits crowd here that's coming along for the journey?
yeah, there's plenty more topics that we haven't touched on, because supernatural basically it's about sorcery and magic and your beliefs for a lot of people, depending how you were raised. And a lot of times these beliefs have been passed down through grandparents, parents, and sometimes it's called folklore. A lot of this
Mm.
stuff is called folklore. So you have to be able to differentiate reality from fiction when you're having these experiences. And speaking from how I grew up and what I experienced, it's a real thing for me. So I cannot see it any other way. I cannot say it any other way.
Nope,
If
and
somebody
nobody can
wants me,
talk you out of that.
yeah, is there spirits? Yes, there's spirits. I will answer because I've experienced it, and there's so much. It's like when you walk in and you'll be walking in an open place and all of a sudden you feel like something cover your face, like a spider web. Have you ever had that happen?
bro. I've had that happen when you can't find the spider webs, and
Spider webs. I say that's a spirit
man.
you into.
Yep. Let's save some of that juicy details for our next one. Don't even. WEFOBZ Nation, you want to hear more about the supernatural? You tune in to our next Supernatural Limits because Rastamon, he got a lot to say. I got a lot to say. Man, Rastamon, I want to thank you for coming on board, bro.
All right. Next time we're gonna do some of the supernatural stuff from American Samoa.
Yes, we are. Definitely. Let's get into that too. And then we'll go around the world if we had to.
Oh yeah, sure.
I'm pretty sure we will. But this is Rastamon, this is guysosmooth, and this is the Supernatural Limits signing out.